Hello, and welcome back to another video on legends and myths. Today I'll be telling you the story of the beautiful Hawaiian goddess Pele, goddess of volcanoes, which also makes her the goddess of fire. Pele is a significant goddess in both Hawaiian and Polynesian mythology and is often referred to as the goddess of fire, lightning, wind, and volcanoes. Her connection to volcanoes is central to her mythology, which she is often depicted as a passionate and volatile deity with a fiery temper. Many stories revolve around her interactions with humans, often testing their courage and character. The goddess is known to be protective of her domain and can be both benevolent and wrathful, causing destruction, but also providing fertile land through volcanic activity. The reference for Pele and her significance continue to be an integral part of Hawaiian cultural identity. Pele is said to be the creator of Hawaii Islands, and that the native Hawaiians believe she lives in the Kilauea volcano. This is why the fire goddess is also known as Pelehonuamea, which means she who shapes the sacred land. Pele was the daughter of Haumea, the goddess of birth and fertility, who was herself considered to be a descendant of the ancient goddess, Papa, and the supreme sky father, Rangi. It is said that Pele was one of the 6 daughters and 7 sons born to Haumea, and was born and raised in Tahiti before she was forced to flee her homeland. The reason for this varies according to the myth. Pele was either banished by her father for her volatility and temper, or fled for her life after seducing the husband of her sister Namaka, the sea goddess. Pele traveled from Tahiti to Hawaii by canoe, being chased by her sister Namaka, who wished to put an end to Pele's fire as well as Pele herself. As she moved from one island to another, it is said that Pele tried to draw lava from the ground and light fires throughout the journey. She traveled through Kauai, where there is an old hill called Pukapele, meaning Pele's Hill, and Oahu, Molokai, and Maui before coming to Hawaii. Namaka finally caught up to Pele in Hawaii, and the sisters battled to the death. Namaka emerged victorious, putting out the fires of Pele's wrath. The fire goddess then became a spirit and went to live in the Kilauea volcano. The Hawaiian goddess Pele is still revered by the people of Hawaii and is often referred to respectfully as Madame Pele or Tutu Pele, which means grandmother. Another name that Pele is also known by is Kawahine ai Honua, meaning earth-eating woman. In Hawaiian religion, the volcano goddess has become a symbol of power and resilience. Pele is synonymous with the island itself and stands for the fiery and passionate nature of Hawaiian culture. As the creator of Hawaii, the goddess's fire and lava rock are not only a symbol of destruction, but also a symbol of rejuvenation and the cyclical nature of life and death. Legends say that Pele disguises herself in various forms and wanders among the people of Hawaii. She's said to sometimes appear as a tall, beautiful young woman, and also at times an old woman with white hair, with a small white dog to accompany her. It is said that she always wears a white muumuu in these forms. However, in Ost paintings or other such depictions, Pele is shown as a woman made of or surrounded by red flames. Over the years, people from around the world have claimed to see the face of the volcano goddess appear in photos of the lava lake or lava flows from the volcano. One of the most well-known myths of the fire goddess is her altercation with the snow goddess Paliahu. She and her sisters Lilino, the goddess of fine rain, and Waiau, the goddess of Lake Waiau, all reside on Mauna Kea. Paliahu decided to come down from Mauna Kea to attend the sled races on grassy hills south of Hamakua. Pele, disguised as a beautiful stranger, was also present and was greeted by Poliahu. However, jealous of Poliahu, Pele opened the underground caverns of Mauna Kea and threw fire from them towards her rival, leading to the snow goddess fleeing to the summit of the mountain. Poliahu finally managed to put out the fire by throwing her snow mantle over them. The fires cooled down, earthquakes shook the island, and the lava was driven back. The volcano goddess and snow goddesses clashed several times, but Pele ultimately lost. Thus, Pele is more revered in the southern parts of the island, while the snow goddess is more revered in the north. Another myth tells the tale of Pele and Lohiau, a mortal man and chief of Kauai. The two met and fell in love, but Pele had to return to Hawaii. Eventually, she sent her beloved sister Hihiaka, goddess of hula dancers, chant, sorcery, medicine, and the favorite of Pele's siblings, to bring Lohiau to her within 40 days. The only condition was that Hi'iaka must not hug him or touch him. Hi'iaka reached Kauai only to find that Lohiau had died. Hi'iaka was able to catch his spirit and revive him, but in her excitement, she hugged and kissed Lohiau. Angered, Pele covered Lohiau in the lava flow. Lohiau was, however, soon brought back to life again. He and Hi'iaka fell in love and began a life together. In modern-day Hawaii, Pele is still very much a part of the living culture. It is considered very disrespectful to remove or take home lava rocks from the islands. Although tourists have been warned that this could bring them bad luck, some of them still decide to take one anyway, which is the reason why there have been many instances where tourists from all over the world have sent back the rocks that they have stolen. For legends say that the volcano goddess, Pele, enacts a curse on anyone who steals any item off the island. She considers the rocks and sand her children and will do anything to protect them. The curse is only lifted when you return the stolen items. Despite her being a fiery goddess, Pele represents the transformative forces of nature and embodies the volcanic energy that shaped the Hawaiian Islands. The beautiful goddess is revered as both a creator and a destroyer, symbolizing the continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share your thoughts on what you think of the fiery goddess. Take care, and I'll see you in the next myth.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of The Sacred Feminine, The Power Within. So today our episode is reflecting upon Pele and going with the flow. So I wanted to begin with just talking about my experience in Hawaii and how when I went with the flow, it was the most amazing thing. Like when I went there, I went to a wolf farm and it was like a beautiful, beautiful farm, great people and great experiences. And, I stayed there for a while and then, things had served their time. And after things served their time, I decided to go off on the island for a little bit by myself. I found a campsite and I paid to stay there in a tent. And when I just stayed there, a part of me was like, you cannot be here, because you're by yourself and you don't know anybody. But I started making friends and this whole thing just happened where this connection to the ocean and the whole island. It was so incredible. And it was so amazing to feel that energy of protection. I just felt source or higher power, God, rushing in and protecting me. And it was so incredible to feel I was meant to be there. And, I'm someone who I personally believe I remember past lives, and Lemuria is something that I am connected to. And I just feel like it is such an amazing frequency and energy to connect to. Now, some people, if you have not heard of Lemuria, or if you think, it might be a subject, it's well, it's Lemuria. They think that perhaps Lemuria was there on the islands in my past lives. I do believe that Lemuria was perhaps, existing on our planet, and that its frequency still lives, I believe. And it's just an amazing thing to actually be there and feel a connection to Pele and feel this deep connection to the goddess. And I was there for a little while by myself, and I just kind of was with the ocean. I was one with the ocean, and I felt just this this feeling everything was at peace. And yet there was as they say, as Pele's energy is very fiery, the volcanoes, just that fiery, passionate energy, you feel that on the island. And she, is the feminine goddess that supports that energy. And like you feel like this deep promise that like it's home. It's like another home from home, but it's like, a home that is like very familiar. Sometimes you feel familiar in your home just with like your feelings of being there, but like this was like a home away from home. And what happened there was very magical, honestly. I feel like between seeing dolphins and meeting people there and studying the culture a little bit, I learned how to give a massage, like I think it was Thai massages, and did that in a class, and like it was just such an amazing experience. But what is the flow? That's what we came here discussing. What is the flow? The flow is like, when I was there on the island, I was in the flow from transferring from like one experience of like this really cool farm I was working on to like having to go and like be on my own and like just rely on me being there and present with the people that were there at the camp. And like going with the flow was like trusting the ocean. Like I got in the ocean and I just had this connection. It was like this eternal connection to the moment and being at peace. And it was so incredible. But what is the lesson? The lesson is that when we surrender, often we feel that we are allowed to be in the moment. But when we truly surrender, we trust our intuition. See, to me, the whole purpose of the Sacred Feminine series is actually to feel that power growing within, of allowing the goddesses, or honorable women, women that were known for the things they've done that are honorable, to shine some light on how a good example would be. How does Pele use the powers of creation and destruction positively? As I think that volcanic like destruction energy, that is like needed. Like we call upon that when we need to feel passion of something being destroyed in our life. And I think this is a real honestly, what I believe kind of a gift you can have is that when you learn to use destruction creatively, you are not harming anything. So if you learn to like destroy an old thing in your life, or an old part of you that you no longer want to like be your focus, what you do, use Pele's power of destruction. And when you want to use creation, you call upon that divine feminine and that creative power, and like you allow that feminine energy to just create something. But sometimes destruction is necessary, and that hot fiery energy is necessary to call upon and to allow something to go into its next phase. And I think that when we are truly empowered, we are with the rhythm of our nature of both creation and destruction. And I think that you can't have one without the other. They're one and the same, just like I always talk about the duality of things. You cannot have one without the other. And like if you don't go into duality about it, creation and destruction actually they serve as like part of the same concept. And so what's important today is just to remember, are we going with the flow of things, or are we fighting that current? Are we fighting the ocean? Just so sometimes you get pulled in that riptide, and when you get pulled in the riptide, you get sucked under, and like if you don't fight, you may just come back up to the surface, the way I believe that it works for me, at least. But when I try to fight it, sometimes I find I cannot always come back well. And like to me, I feel like fighting the ocean current is what I like to think about when we meditate. Most of my classes and things are about meditation. And when we fight those thoughts and we say, no, like, I am these thoughts, and you hold on to that, when you're not in that flow of just seeing the ocean, like just kind of like, just allow you to be in the flow of like letting your thoughts flow in and out peaceably. When you create and you destroy something, you do it with mindfulness. You need mindfulness to know what you're creating and destroying, to make sure you're doing that process in a way that does not cause destruction. And so what's beautiful is the ego. The ego likes to destroy because it doesn't understand that sometimes it just wants to survive, and it doesn't understand sometimes people that are very spiritual on a more monk-like path, they actually seek to destroy the ego, the carnal mind, the thing that actually is desire, temptation, and honestly ungodliness. And like for me, what mattered to me is that when I'm at the beach, I'm at peace, I'm in the flow. And like when I'm anywhere else, and we all probably feel this way, I don't feel like I'm really, where the flow is just so present. That's just, you're in the present moment. You've got the whole sea, and that's what was special to me on my trip to Hawaii was when I was there and present, and it was just me and the earth. I felt like the peace of nature come over me, and I felt like the destruction, the creation, it all just was like a volcano. It just came in and it like took me in and like took in my whole self. And like I feel like the whole process of creation, destruction was just there before me, with the volcanoes, with the ocean, the ending of the old, into the new of just being by myself by the beach, and like just being there, not knowing what's going to happen the next day. And like just being appreciative and just really realizing, this is it. This is life. Every day, every moment, like we're in the flow, and if we fight that flow, we often do not get things to go our way. So like just remember to be patient. And like for me, what mattered to me is that people that fight their own mind, they fight their own, what they know is good for them. If you fight that, you're probably not going to have just what's good in your life. You need to stop fighting that current, that ocean wave. You need to like be honest. Like if people want to be at war with themselves, they would not use the power of destruction wisely. I think it's very important. We're not taught how powerful we are. Like we have the power to create or destroy with our own thoughts. And like that is so amazing and huge to me, that like I create with my thoughts tonight, is what I'll say for all of us. A positive life for me, where I know that I will do what's in my highest good and everyone's highest good, and I will sit with myself, and I will allow those passionate volcanic energies, those beautiful beautiful creative and destructive energies to merge together and play. They play. That's what I learned when I was on the island. It was really cool. Like the message was play. It was so innocent. It was like when I was one with nature. It was like when I was just there by myself. Like I just had this feeling, like just kind of like play, like like the dolphins play in the ocean, like play, like in the ocean, and like don't be scared. And like when you're not scared, it's just everything is in harmony. But then like when you feel the fear, sometimes the destruction comes. And like it's really interesting. It's really interesting how I feel like there's this guidance for me. It tells me be quiet and be patient. We're all on this beautiful journey, and Hawaii was the most favorite place I've ever been. Like it was what you think of it to be if you haven't been there. It is like paradise. I mean, it's just coconuts and bananas and avocados and all kinds of fruit trees, and like they're just everywhere. And like the fish and the people are so nice. And like it's just it's everything you could think. The vibe is just amazing. Like I feel that it's wrong to not want to go back, so I'm planning to go back sometime. I was on the big island, and so it taught me how to flow. It taught me how to be in sync with myself, and how to not be scared anymore. I was like, I mean, there were like, I think there were sea urchins, if that's the right word. I'm pretty sure the black things that have spikes on them, they're everywhere I was walking. I walked barefoot, but I did not get hurt by them, because I was just saying, don't come with just fear, like come with like this, like beautiful harmony of just knowing I'm safe. Yeah. What is the deepest message I have to share tonight? Are you fighting with resistance everything in your life? Like for me, sometimes when I sit and just be still. I feel like I'm still on the island because I feel there's something there that warned me. Um, there is some magic, that is really there to support, every person that wants to experience the magic of Pele and the magic of the islands. But what matters to me, what's the deepest message, is to find that place within yourself, that master's creation, destruction. It says, okay, if you are your own guru, your own teacher, and that's what I believe, what makes you believe that you know like how much you're worth, like without you going through your own process? And my promise to all my work, everything I've done, if I can help even one person with their process, I've achieved happiness for myself. Because me going through my process was very challenging. It was very hard on the island. Actually, it was very hard to be there. I had some physical health things going on, and like I felt like it was so beautiful to to be there and to witness the island and its magic and its story, and it was just incredible. But to actually be still and witness your own process is a beautiful place to go. And actually, one of the ideas that I had, I don't know if it may be Hawaii or maybe somewhere else at the beach. I want to take people to the beach and just go through our process and like just feel and like just be at the ocean and like feel the waves. And like, this is my dream. My dream is to have some kind of connection to somewhere, to the beach, and hopefully it will be Hawaii. But where we can actually go there and go with the flow of our processes. And sometimes persons just need to sit. They just need to sit with themselves and like feel that passion reunites. And the ocean is a perfect place to like feel what is flow. Flows when you're not fighting what is, and you're saying, okay, I accept what is. What can I do with this flow? There's a part of something I feel I'm a part of. It's kind of like there's these people that kind of like are just in this deep state of flow all the time, and I became a part of it for a while, and that was when my life was at peace. And there are different people I've met on my journey, but to me they're called flow artists. And what that means to me, they do things and I think that's the right term, but basically they do things and they just flow from like one kind of thing to the next. And like, that's really interesting. What if we were designed like that, not to just have the same life every day, day after day? What if we were designed to actually kind of go with the flow of this to that? Nothing wrong with living the same life every day if that's what we want to do, but we are humans. We do have the choice to say how powerful flow is. Like for me, I'm so deep in a state of flow because when I stepping outside of that, everything goes so wrong. And like, I'm just appreciative of Goddess Pele and her wisdom of understanding what it's like to truly be empowered and to truly sit with wisdom. And it's not just about the island, it's about Pele showing a deep, fierce, feminine warrior energy, and like how that deep warrior energy is something sometimes we need to survive just our daily lives. And like, I feel that there's a lot to honor about knowing that we don't have to try anymore to fight what is. And we don't have to believe that there's anything to fight. We're fighting ourselves. And like, the hardest thing is if you can find out how to go within to understand like what we really feel is what we're supposed to feel. It's how we're supposed to, we fight it, say that's a good or a bad feeling. We're not really looking at like how we need to respect and honor our feelings and honor our vibration. We need to honor our thoughts and where we are. And when you honor where you are totally respecting this moment, because where I am is not just like the perfect place for anyone to me. We all have a place where like we are looking for answers, but we don't know. We already have them within. And like, the sacred feminine is a good example, to feel that soft nurturing energy and just feel like what it's like to be sitting at the beach right now, allowing yourself to just like be in that flow and like feel the true need to be quiet and feel what you feel. What we sense is correct, what you truly sense. And you know, there's nothing like realizing this moment is honestly all that I have. And if I want you know, if I want something more, I can't have it because it's in the past and the present. And what I have is this very moment, to be so honest with myself that all I have is this very moment. There's no promise of tomorrow. And, you know, I have to make sure, you know, that when I think about my memories of the Hawaiian island, the big island, it was so incredible. It was like I was in another world. And, you know, to me, nothing compares to what I learned was that I could not stop the flow. The flow was that I had to be there by myself if I wanted to, you know, to experience the island more and the ways that I needed. And like, it was just so amazing to like find that like, it's really, you choose your own thoughts. You choose, either you love yourself or you fight yourself all your life, just, you know, fighting over, what you don't love about yourself, because, you know, self-love is a choice, but it also comes with consequences of like, you're going to have self-doubt, you're going to have confusion, you're going to have illness in your life, you're going to have breakups, you're going to have despair. But what matters is like, does anyone really know like who they are? Do we know who we really truly are? Our potential is to be like on fire with that passionate energy of just feeling like, you know, our true self be present. Our true self is present. There's nothing bad that can happen. And like, you know, when your true self is present, nothing can take you from the moment. Nothing can take you from your path. But there are some people, they don't want to live in truth. They want to live in ignorance. And that's where they are, because they don't understand that, like, you know, we are all that way sometimes. Sometimes everybody lives in a state of not wanting to know. But you know what knowing really means? To know yourself, to know your needs, to know your wants, to know your limitations, is to know that everybody's different. And some people don't understand that where you are is perfect. Where you are with your life, who you're spending time with, what you're doing with your career, it's all as it should be. And that's a piece you can have. But to also know if you need to change that, that's okay. You can use that destruction to destroy the old, to have the new through creation. And that's why like we're so interested in just getting into that flow where like no matter what happens, you have yourself. That's my number one thing to say, is that we have ourselves. And like, you know, what matters to me is remember the magic of the island. Remember like I was promised in my heart, like a promise from the island, is that I will destroy the parts of my life that do not resonate anymore. And so all the people that stay in this like flow that I've connected is so beautiful. But like, you know, even if we step out of that, it's in a sense still part of the flow. It's like all part of the same thing. But like, to me, what matters, those that you think oppose you, what makes you think that they're in their real flow? If they were in their real flow, they would not oppose you. See, there are no ultimate enemies or things that are even against you, but we don't know that when we're in the response of something. We think that like we have something against us. But that's what's so beautiful about this teaching, is that to surrender to everything is already at peace. Let everything leave through these natural ways that is not supposed to be a part of my life. And like, to me, I just know that there's a lot of opposition toward all kinds of things. Like, you know, the truth is that every perspective has this purpose and time in your life. But like, to me, when you realize that we are here to be creative, we are here to be expressive, we are here to use that sacred feminine power building with both males and females to allow the masculine to be healed, to allow that beautiful drive to go in harmony and flow that is like, you know, think it's in tune with who we really are. So are you doing what you need for yourself? Are you doing what you need to stay in your personal flow and rhythm and cycle? Don't let anything take you out of cycle. You know, I have this story. I didn't know if I should share it or not, but it's kind of it's kind of pretty strong. When I was on the island, I I've told this before to the group in person, but you know, I was on the island and I was going down this path, and these uh these wild pigs started making sounds like they were going to attack me. There's a whole group of them, and I actually climbed up a tree, and I was by myself. And this was when I was, you know, I was not on the farm anymore. I was just out there, and like you know, kind of close to the campground, but not close enough to where I could be there. And like I had to sit in this tree for like a really long time, and like these pigs were like making these sounds like they were going to attack me. But when I stopped my fear and I stayed in prayer, they had no harm like toward me. And it was just incredible to like sense that like every time I went into fear, they would like be ready to attack me. But thank goodness for that tree. Like that's the scariest story of my life, and part of the reason why, you know, people actually they don't know, you know, like that was so amazing to me to experience that, because like, you know, I was there breathing, and when I breathed in this breath, and I just like I prayed for peace, and I prayed for like you know, the just the peace of God and for safety, and I felt the whole universe just melt over me, and I was like, I'm gonna be okay, just wait it out. But you know, when you trust your instincts, I think even though that was one of the scariest moments of my life, I'm glad that I went to the island to show my respect and to show my love for the culture and the people I've loved, you know, Hawaiian culture since I was younger. So, you know, I just think that it goes to show that like no matter what happens in your life, my instinct was to just sit up there for a really long time in the tree and just be with God. And like that was the most beautiful moment of my entire life. And it's like just being with the creator. And you know, I feel like there's a lot of protection when you really ask God or higher self for protection. And, the island protected me. I feel it is like this energy that warns me to come back. It's like another home to me. And yeah, I feel like Pele deserves a lot of respect. Deserves a lot of respect for her wisdom. Is so sacred to me. You know, just the Hawaiian culture, just everything about it reminds me of like a beautiful kind of existence. You know, and, you know, I wanted to do a little meditation where we actually spend about 5 minutes just focusing on asking the island to protect us and ask Pele for wisdom. So if you would like, you can close your eyes. Now I invite the mother goddess Pele into our need for personal power, for personal passion, and for personal revelation of how to have courage. And I allow her energy of the sacred feminine to come into our presence and allow ourselves to feel the magic of the island, to feel the Miria and just the beautiful presence of the dolphins and the protection of the island, the calling home. And what that means, some people feel like there's a calling home, there's a calling to go visit the island. I had it since I was a child, and it was so beautiful, and I love everything about it. So we pray that that every part of us be protected by the island's protection and magic, and that we allow Pele help guide and direct us to be in power, and allow that sacred feminine energy to infuse us, to allow ourselves to feel the cycles of abuse end when Pele brings the creation and destruction back into harmony, peace, and balance. We allow that beautiful energy to just come into to our field, and we allow that energy to be called upon in the volcanic energy to emerge. We allow it to feel that piece of the island of sitting there and just being at the beaches with us now. We allow everything about this moment to be just to be at peace with the fact that that strong embodiment, that strong courageous attitude, that strong fierce volcanic energy comes into our field and wipes clean all of the things we don't need anymore, and we allow that energy of the volcanic ash to just wash away and cleanse with the water everything old that we don't need, and we allow our needs to be minimal. As I learned, I needed very little when I was there. I remain that lesson to not want more than you need. So we breathe the volcanic energy of Pele into our field, and we allow that wisdom of the goddess to allow us to be there and be in power, and we allow the beautiful, beautiful understanding of the hearts. We may visit there one day if we. So we breathe. We allow everyone to know we are one with all things, and we are at harmony and peace with our own flow. We allow our flow to come into our mind like waves, and the waves just wash away those thoughts we no longer need. We allow the waves to show us that we do not need to believe that destruction can destroy anything we need, and we allow the creation with the mother's energy to come to create for us what we need in our daily life and daily walk. You may open your eyes, maybe a little shorter, maybe not than I said, but anyway, I wanted you all to know working with the goddess archetypes is a real gift, and I feel that I would never take them for granted. I feel like they give us empowerment, and they give us strength, and I have found to call upon them just kind of like almost like an archangel. I feel like there's a lot of strength to be found in the sacred feminine keepers, is what I believe they are, kind of like the keepers of wisdom of our earth. And so it's been a blessing to begin these teachings. I hope it can do several more sacred feminine empowerment little classes. May do them for a while. I don't know, but I really like studying the empowerment of the goddess's wisdom, and also just knowing that feminine wisdom comes within every human being. There is a feminine wisdom every person has, and that wisdom, when you activate that, you are at a real stage of evolution in your capacity, to heal your own whole self. So those that teach this wisdom, I give them massive kudos. I'm still on a path of learning, but I've learned a lot, and I still have a lot more to learn. So thank you for watching with me. You can find me at Chalet Rainstar Princess Amy Fox on Facebook, or email thepuritybegins@gmail.com. And if you like this episode, or you have any questions, or you have anything you'd like to mention about the Sacred Feminine episodes in general, feel free to contact me. Thank you. I don't think Marcus knows. I ended a little early. I just felt the need to be in my flow, and to kind of keep my my need for the flow of my daily life to kind of to be present. I feel like I kind of said what I needed to say. But yeah, if Marcus doesn't hear me, I might just say a little more. Well, since we're here together, you know, what's most important is the little girl, the little boy in your heart. It's who you truly are. Um, you know, I, I feel like everybody knows that you know, every one of us is precious and sacred, and like when you have a sacred experience like being on the island like I did, you know, what's so precious is actually that we don't take any moment for granted. And you know, I feel like it's just really really amazing to know when you work with these sacred energies, you know, of the feminine, when you feel and how to do that, how to actually experience, you know, the feminine. You know, you feel that comfort, that nurturing, that wisdom of the goddesses and the keepers, you know, kind of our world. You know, when you feel that integration of your own feminine and masculine coming together, that is what this broadcasts are about. Yeah, it's very hopeful to me that you all know that like our spirits, when we are one with our whole spirit, our feminine and masculine, we are unified to our whole self. Very very special knowledge, to know that when you have your own feminine and masculine kind of like united, you are able to you know conquer every part of you because you're already whole. You come from a whole place. You're not finding yourself anymore. This polarized energy. So you know, remember to flow between the feminine and masculine, that place within in between. That is where both worlds are created to me. Like when you're kind of like in between both worlds, you're present with that place where you have both the energies coming together, and that's where you stay. You just stay in the in between place between them both. So I like to remain the rest of the time, if we can, just focusing on Pele's energy, and just focus on allowing that creation process and destruction process to be within your feminine and masculine. You just feel the place between the two, the place where they're unified. Feel that place. Feel whatever takes you out of the flow, to just let it leave your world and your life if you do not need it anymore. Let your flow be what brings you harmony. Feel that guidance of the island. Feel that beautiful memory come to you. That memory of who you really are. Feel the memory become this moment. Feel remembering. Remember who you are is a legend. You are your own Pele. You are your own embodied self. And to bring all aspects of the self together, you will become whole. That's what everything I teach is about, because I once achieved a state where I was very in tune with everyone, everything. Like I was this oneness kind of meditation, you know, present. And I feel that I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that the presence that I have attained is because I sit with myself and I ask everything to just constantly heal and integrate and be at peace. And you know, that's what's so beautiful about studying how to just be still and be with the present moment and allow the moment to conquer everything you're going through. I've been very sick before. I say no, just be still, and didn't have to go to the hospital and things for really bad things that happened to me at times. And like when you're still with that moment, you're just like, wow, it all just is. Everything just is. We'll continue to go back to stillness and feel that connection. Feel the connection to Pele, feel the connection to that power, and feel the harmony of the destruction and creation, the feminine and masculine, the whole, every polar, you know, like the duality, the up and the down. It just stay in the middle. Yeah. It's perfect place. Perfect place to be where you can be one with your ancestors. You can be one with, you know, everyone that you know. Just feel that oneness and that presence. Just feel that unity. And allow your sacred feminine to overcome that masculine override. Allow that override to be overcome by your own feminine, and nurture yourself. Comfort every part of you. Every part of you being acknowledged. Every part of being acknowledged as one allows. So once again, thank you all. Thank you for listening. And, you know, I would like to see you next week on another episode. We'll just sit here until it's time and allow that Pele energy to connect.
Imagine booking a soul session, ordering crystals, and joining a live retreat from your phone. For too long, finding the right healers, the right products, the right community has meant endless searching across scattered corners of the internet. That changes now. The Sacred Kingdom has arrived, an online hub where a worldwide directory of holistic practitioners, readers, life guides, organic makers, musicians, a crystal shop, books, and more are all waiting for you. Book one-on-one sessions, order products, and discover Kingdom members serving locally in your area, all from your fingertips, wherever you are, whenever you're ready. Stay connected to upcoming events and retreats, both online and in person. Tap into a YouTube channel built for real conversation, hands-on holistic learning, and free giveaways. And there's more coming: courses, programs, a holistic recipe book, and the Sacred Kingdom Mystery School Academy mentorship. This is a space built on love, compassion, and the belief that conscious living should be accessible to all walks of life. Visit thesacredkingdom.com, and if you feel called to build from within, email Marcus Crystallite at marcustut23@gmail.com about joining the Kingdom Council. The Kingdom is open.